Let's welcome our next speaker, Ritu Chopra. Hello, hello.
Hi, all beautiful ladies, talented ladies. Very nice to meet you all. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. I just pin you to be up on the stage with me. Thank you,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes. So I am sort of a visual person, so I wanna share. Just let me know when you can share see my screen.
Sure. I wanted to read your bio,
Oh,
unless you would like to start.
please go ahead. Share my
Yeah,
bio.
wonderful. Ritu is a technologist by profession, author, TV show host, award-winning film producer, and executive leadership coach, motivational speaker with more than 20 years of experience in Fortune 500 companies serving in IT operations, information security in global financial and healthcare industry, sharing her knowledge and give back to community. Rita is the founder and president of Leadership Consulting Services LLC, providing consulting services for leadership development for emerging corporate personnel in IT and non-IT space for leadership roles. Her TV show, Despite the Challenges, Ritu is currently writing her new book, Women Leadership in 21st Century, Creating and Raising Leaders of Tomorrow. So yes,
Thank you. Thank you, Edith. I
yeah,
wanna just now ready share my screen and let
go
me know.
ahead.
All right. So, okay. Please let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes,
Oh,
we are seeing this.
so it's just going to give me a little bit challenge here
Mm-hmm.
as it does. So, okay. All right. So I would just continue. So my topic, I'm a visual person. I have learned um, through experiences. Um, I was born in a very tight knit, close, loving family. My life circumstances changed. My education was interrupted. So here I am, all by myself, trying to find a sense of life, learning things, etc. So it it just was a quite a bit interesting journey for me. And okay, here we are. So I as like I said, I'm a visual person. I wanted to kind of create that what I teach, I apply for myself. What I apply for myself, that's the principles I bring to coach others. So today I will be talking about why do we need a personal brand? What's the definition? And the pillars, etc. As SWOT analysis is just not applied to strengths, weaknesses of a process, but we could apply those kind of strategies into our branding and our offers as well. 6 C's is the most important takeaway, and you want to stick around for this one. And then we'll follow by Q&A, and I will share some of the brands that I personally, that my brands that I have, and what thought process has gone into them. Okay.
Fantastic.
So, why do we need a personal brand? Well, one, it's a recognition. Most importantly, it's your reputation. You connect your brand to your services, your integrity, your authenticity, what you bring to the world, and you stand out with your brand than your competitions. So it is your reputation. You need that personal identity as a brand. Regardless if you are selling a product or a service or you stand out for some cause. So, um, just on the same terms is the credibility of a public image. So if the brand that you represent and the credibility doesn't really quite sink in with that, you don't have the benefit that you expect, because then you come in into more of a other side of it that I will cover. And the personal brand is essential to create and display your accurate services, this information, because right now in a marketplace, you have competition and everywhere you can go. It doesn't matter where you are in a Shopify or Amazon, or you are somewhere out there in the world, there's a lot of competition. So the more accurate your information is about your services and succinct it is, your brand stands out.
Ritu, just double checking, are you going ahead with flipping the pages, because I can see only the first page.
Okay, yes, I
and
have.
sometimes it gets stuck on the first page.
Okay, I think
so. Maybe you've got to stop sharing and share it again.
I think we will do that. It would be much easier.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so right here we are, and it has been giving me a little bit trouble sharing as a slideshow. And okay, so I wouldn't fight with Zoom at the moment. I will continue.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
So right here I am on this area. It's also a recognition of you in a marketing channel. So you might be in a 2 or 3 different marketing channels, or maybe your services are slightly different, because most of us with the years of experiences, we offer maybe more than one service. We have something different, and you try to say that, okay, at this particular channel, I have young generation, so the variation of my service or product is X. But then I am on another platform, and that's being used by a little bit older generation, and that's the marketing approach I need to utilize. So I may have a little bit different statements. So just make sure that somewhere it links back to you, even though your messaging might be a little bit different based on your marketing channels. Finally, the personal brand is your asset. This is most important thing that you have, especially when you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, and have years and years of experiences, and that you're trying to translate that experience into product and services that you are offering. So that's your asset, and that's your equity, and that's brings you the reward. So that's why the personal branding and paying attention to what goes into it is really important. I will have a Q&A session, but I just want to kind of move into the next slide. So we see. Okay, so and please write your question, or any questions you have. I'll be more than happy to answer, as long as it relates to branding. So commercial brands and personal brands. Okay, the commercial brands, they have money, they have teams, they have research, they have expertise, they have everything that goes into recognition. What can we take from them into our personal brands? Some of the methodologies. Where it relates, what they have and we don't, in terms of the scale and presence. Their presence and image in the marketplace is as equally important to a personal brand, our image, and our presence in a marketplace for our niche market. So that's where we kind of come into the same level. So given some good examples, are some of the major brands, as you would notice that you don't need to say who they belong to. you know what it is and what kind of product or services they have, right? As you notice, anywhere you can go in the world and you see the symbol, you know what it is and what their product and services are. So that's the image that they have, and the products are associated with it. So they have come to that recognition level in a marketplace that they don't need to make any more effort, right? So, here's something that I want to bring into Nike. I find it very fascinating that Nike's statement, mission statement, or logo that goes with it's an athletic brand, and it is just do it. It doesn't tell you what to do. It just says just do it, right? What does that mean? Get up and get running. If you relate that to yourself, that messaging, right? I could be in a down mood, and then just say, hey, knock it off, get up and do it. That has nothing to do with Nike's brand, but that is a statement that touches you, that really lands in you, right? So you see that there's like 3 words, just 3 words. So this is something that I will come back to in the next slide or so. So your brand needs to be very clear, consistent, and simple. As simple as you can keep. And it would take some effort. It would take trials and repetitions before you get there. These companies didn't get there the first time. If you look at into the histories, and for McDonald's or Apple, their uh, brands, their logos have changed over time. So we're no different than that. And it takes a little bit more effort. My attempt here was to just kind of bring in the key pieces of what goes into it. And as you see that I have put my logo, I have a slide that I want to share um, what it meant to me. So kind of continuing on to the next one. I believe I am on the right slide. Yes, I am. Okay, so the brands are made of personal brands are made out of pillars and passions. What I call them pillars are a reflection of personal values, passion and strength, what we put into it. I was hearing Dodi before me, and then what stood out for me that a lot of people don't do is cold calling, reaching out to people. We are living in a world that cold calling or reaching out to someone directly may not be seen as polite or, pushy but that takes a lot of courage to connect with human beings. We have to understand that our services and our products are being used by other human beings. So if we make that connection with people and just have the passion attached to it, it starts reflecting in your values because you care. That's where it sets us apart with the major company. I don't want to mention any names on my last slide. So if I do a survey, I will get all kinds of different responses, right? So we have our opinions with big brands, but the personal, we have niche markets. We serve a small segment of population that we build connection. We get referrals. We bring those people into our lives and we become part of their lives. So that kind of personal values are very important part and a strength of your brand. And passions, what I mean is that brand to be passionate means what you care about. Just like, I just mentioned, you really care about them, their well-being, their success, etc. And that is the motivation that you have. So you kind of get to motivate them. It's just spoke about um, Dodi helping her with sleep. That has nothing to do with the brand, right? But it has to do with that human connection, right? So think of ways where we connect with other human beings, even if they are not our clients today, but you have left a lasting thread there of connection that it comes back, right? So moving on to my next slide. Yeah, I mentioned about personal brand SWOT. SWOT, which is this strength and weaknesses, opportunity to stretch. It's a very common acronym used all over in a corporate world and outside of corporate world. It applies to every different situations. And as a techie, we use that all the time, doing any new kickoff of a project or so. So here, what it means to the personal brand, your values that you bring personally to your brand. Either it's your service or your product. Passions, mission. Mission is really important because you might have um, a, I'm just thinking of the top of my head, maybe you're marketing a product line that is developed um, on thinking of different ideas here, a safe, no use of plastic or a safer product, or no animal
Sustainability.
testing,
Yeah.
sustainability, no animal testing, etc., healthy, chemical free, or something. You are promoting the mission of that company, right? So you become a promoter because you attach yourself to them. It's much easier to kind of latch on that mission and then expand your own affiliation and your own brand to your clients. Other brands in personal side of it is the service to the world, which I mean by that how do you give back? That there is no product or service attached to it. Service meaning where you get paid for, but it is a giving back. It also becomes a brand. So if you're attached with, say, nonprofit, you are a volunteer of Doctors Without Borders or something like that, or Peace Corps, or Red Cross or something. So that is something that you kind of attach. You expand your community and you bring in that other things, the services that you get yourself involved into your branding piece of it. It may not seem as relevant to at the start, but just think of in a long term what it can do, because your presence is your profile, your presence is attached to that service to the world as well. And what could be the weaknesses here? Let's not forget that we all have to plan for all of those parts of the SWOT. Is to get there, there's a lot of work to be done. Just because you write something on a paper and you have a coach or someone or a mentor to guide you, and you have everything in a paper, it just doesn't materialize being on the paper. Those are first ABCs of those, but there's a lot more work. There's a whole step ladder to get there. So just make sure that you team yourself with the right people, have right mentors to get you there. So that's the strengths and weaknesses, and opportunities as threat as a part of acronym. But here, what it means to us: be very careful on assessing what your customers need and how your services fit their need. So the services you have and the maybe initial list of customers you have, maybe they don't need that. So you have to constantly be evaluating that part. The other area that I pay a lot of attention and I really emphasize on is listening, learning, and growing. You cannot come to a plateau and say that, okay, I have done it, it's working out, and I can stop there. Your personal brand is always in listening, because the generations change, people's needs change, people change, and your brand has to reflect the need of your customer. And the threat part of it, I see that navigating competition. And again, I emphasize that all of these are acronym words, but I'm trying to fit them into personal branding. For threats, the navigating competition and reinventing. any product services you have, there's plenty of competition out there. So we have to make sure that we create, and there's plenty of buyers. Don't feel fearful or threatened that so and so is my competition. There are a lot of buyers out there. Have that abundance mindset that there's enough customers for everyone. You have to be very true to yourself first, to reflect your values, your mission, your passion. Listen to people. People who connect with you will stay with you. They will bring their friends and family members and their connection to you. So be calm, stay focused, but it requires a lot of attention there. As an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, we are always evolving. The 6 C's I mentioned, these are most important part of my presentation today. And I do have, Edith, I do have a giveaway. There is a write-up. If you don't mind sharing link with them, they can take away that document. And that's the 6 C's: clarity, consistency, constancy, communicating, controlling, and cultivating. I'll get into that a little bit, and then I think any questions that anyone has, I'll be more than happy to set a consultation with them. The clarity is, as I don't need to even talk about it. Most of the speakers have mentioned yesterday, and maybe upcoming speakers would have something about it. Your brand needs to be very clear about what you do and do not. Make sure that do not represent. So getting a logo and then creating a brand, I think is other way around, is cart before the horse. So just make sure that you first clear to yourself what you want to represent. And it might take some reiteration, it might take some effort, but that's okay. Consistency is, that's again, it's very essential. Once you establish, you be consistent. And I may sound a little bit contradicting to my consistency part. Like earlier, I said that if you have multiple market channels and have a multiple generations, and you tailor your message a little bit differently, that's okay, as long as you are consistent with your messaging, right? Trustworthiness, constancy, its trustworthiness is that it's key. It's so important for a personal brand. You make that commitment to it. And if there is something that you're feeling overwhelmed, just step back, take a moment, and just see that your overwhelm should not reflect to your market, or you have to take a pause and seek some help or mentor who can guide you. That absence is okay. Little bit absence is okay. You really do not need to create material, videos, and things all the time. Create something which is doable. Be authentic to yourself. Communicating is important. I really don't have to talk about a whole lot much. And I think that's all experienced people have been doing fabulous work out there. So you know how it is important that you need to keep authenticity in your communication. People are distracted. People have so short attention span. So if your message becomes a little bit diluted, it can be misunderstood or mistranslated. So just make sure that it may not be you, it's the other person. So your communication stays very consistent and clear. Controlling is, what it means is that you have to control your image of the brand. If you don't, the market would control. That's the most important advice I can give you. If you don't control your brand, someone else will. So remember, that is the most important asset. And treat it in such a way. In cultivating, it's an ongoing process. If you have developed something and your logos are fabulous, your messaging is fabulous, it doesn't mean your job is ended. people's needs change, generations change, something else, external changes that we don't know at the moment. We have everything aligned perfectly, but something externally changes that you need to be ready to be uh, flexible and cultivate that market that you have. So those 6 C's, these are my giveaway for today, and please take them as a valuable part of uh, creating your personal brand. And in next slide, I want to share my brands that you see, that you saw in every slide. My brand, my initials are my handwriting with a digital pen on a digital pad, which has been incorporated into my name. That's my personal brand. Simple as it is, I don't need anything else on it. That's my personal brand. And I have a story. Just like I said, that these are my handwritten initials on it with a digital pen on a digital board. Why I did that, that's another story for another time. But that's where I build connection, because I want to bring piece of me to what I bring to my clients. Right? It's simple. So your brand, when you turn your brand into a logo reflects, like we looked at Nike and Apple and other logos. Without looking at your product, your logo is a reflection of your product. So think about, before you create a logo, what do you want to reflect from your product or services? The other one is I'm like Edith mentioned, I'm also a filmmaker, I'm techie. This was my healing project, which turned into a nonprofit. Lead My Way is a very personal story to me. I was in a life-threatening situation in a very toxic marriage. My day-to-day goal was to stay alive, and I would cry and pray and cry and pray, and would say that, Lord, lead my way. This was when I became empty nester. I realized that I never healed. One thing led into another. As a techie, I have no background in filming. I did a series of documentaries that have national and international awards. And after that, I was advised to set up a nonprofit. And Lead My Way is the name of my nonprofit. And the butterfly is a transformation. Why black and white? I drew on a little sticky note, a little image on a sticky paper, and I gave it to a graphic designer. I said, need a logo. I just kind of expressed to him my intention. So when people are going through a traumatic experience, it doesn't matter how many colorful things are happening around them. They cannot see it. Life is black or white for them. That story reflects my brand. And the tagline, as you see that, to a better future. We provide outreach, education, and outreach for trauma victims of trauma and gender-based violence. That's all we do. We're education and awareness agency. So our tagline, our logo, our mission, everything just, and a story from a heart and a personal experiences, they all went into that logo. So I wanted to share with you all. The other one is that when people yesterday also talked about a brand or logo. Logos are very good. That without a logo, you will be asked about it. If you have a website or you do your contracts or agreements, and logo is a good thing to have. It's not a must. It's a good thing to have. But if you have a logo, don't force yourself to have a tagline. If you have a tagline, it should be reflection of your mission, your passion, your product, your service, that it aligns very well. Your logo could be okay without the tagline. It doesn't have to. So that's another platform that I have with my tech company. Delivering Transformation is for authors and coaches. Is our full service platform for coaches, authors, etc. So yeah, so that's what should go into your logos and brands. All right, so I'm
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This was amazing. It was very, very wise and very knowledgeable presentation. I'm sure we all got a lot of value from it. And if anyone has questions for Ritu, please feel free to reach out or give Ritu send Ritu or send pop a message in the chat. Thank you so much, Ritu. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.